So, you got a new ukulele. Finally. Been waiting forever. Now, many people are really excited and they play and they go crazy and they think it's like this could be the best it could be. But in reality is, wood instruments are very finicky and actually age over time. And what a lot of people don't know is that it takes a long time for the glue and everything else to settle, and also sometimes the humidity, and if a ukulele comes from a different place like Hawaii, the barometric pressure is a lot different, and it can really affect the way it sounds, and it can actually change over time, good or bad. And this is kind of one of those things that people need to know. And there's a lot of things that other things that people need to know about when they get a new ukulele. So, you got it. Great, you just spent the money. Now, what are you going to do to protect it? Well, a couple of things you could do is you can get a nice hard case like this, lined, all beautiful, good, basically bulletproof. Could drive a car over this one. That's really the top line that you prefer. And some people get, just these cloth ones that are kind of bendy and basic protection. But, it's really up to you and how much it was. This ukulele is about $180, so the protection is probably a little bit more. I wouldn't want to put it in a case like that. Now, when you actually do receive your ukulele, a lot of times, more than ever before, a lot of people are getting their ukuleles online. Well, if you get a ukulele and it comes, any wood instrument, and it comes perfectly tuned, you really need to question the person that sent it to you, because they may not know what they were doing. A ukulele should never come completely tuned and ready to go, because the difference between humidity, barometric pressure, could really actually, the big change from one place to the other could actually damage the instrument. So when you get it, it's going to be out of tune. Now, also, the other thing to think about is, they might have sent it to you, it gets set up in a factory, if it's brand new, not used, with subpar strings. And this is another thing you kind of need to think about, and it can really make a difference in the sound and the tone of a ukulele even over time. And what a lot of people do is they change strings. And there are really just two really main ones you'll see of how to actually change strings. A lot of great websites out there. Ukulele Underground probably has some of the best videos on how to actually change strings. There's really only two kinds that you'll deal with. There's the knot kind, like this one, where it just snaps in, you just twirl and do your thing on that. And then there's other ones, like this one, where it's tied on. And these are a little more difficult to do, but definitely they both work the same, a little more time to do. And if you're not really comfortable changing your own strings, most music shops you can bring them to, say, hey, I need you doing this, and you can buy strings, and there's many, probably hundreds of kinds. Some of the more common ones would be kind from Diodario, these kind. Really popular one now is the Aquilas. That's what I have on this other ukulele. And these are really popular right now. Nyligut. Both are synthetic strings. And you can bring them to most places or buy them, and they'll actually string it for you. Now, the other thing that you kind of need to know about strings is you should change them probably once a year, at least, or if they start to sound dead, or if they come dead, like this one, it sounds okay, but it could sound a lot better. Also, sometimes strings break, things like that. And also, you want to change them with like strings. Sometimes you can order different types of strings, like the Aquila strings are basically for the soprano and the concert, where these are just concert, and it's all about the gauge and the tension. If you get the wrong strings, you decide to get like tenor strings, which have a looser tension. You could have buzzes, or if you bought soprano strings for a tenor, which is a larger one, you could actually hurt the neck pretty badly. Along with that, the other thing you really need to think about is humidity. These are wood instruments, just like anything that's wood. It will expand and contract over time, and one of those things that you really need to have, that I recommend for everyone to get, is a humidistat. Ukulele should stay around 50%, like this. I keep mine at about 50 at all times, maybe 60 if it gets really bad in the summer, but we're lucky in the Midwest. We have high humidity in the summer, so we can actually, reduce the humidity. But if you live in an arid climate like Arizona, Nevada, places like that, you really need to be humidifying it all the time. And in the winter, when the Midwest has less humidity, you have a couple choices you can do. This is an in instrument ones, just as a sponge. It just soaks up water, you put it in, you replace it, you recharge it maybe every other day. The ones that I prefer are these. They're little plastic ones with a clay insert. You charge them for about 2 hours, you put them in the water for about 2 hours, put them in the case, and you leave the ukulele in the case when you're not using it, and it lasts for 2 weeks, and it's much better. The other thing about humidity, some cases, and this is rare, will actually have a humidistat built in, like this one, which is nice, but expensive. You're going to pay for that. The other thing is, you have to keep your instruments clean. And actually cleaning actually helps humidify. And a lot of times, people will clean their instruments with things they definitely shouldn't be doing it with, like pledge. That is not appropriate for any musical instrument. Plus your musical instrument will smell like lemon, and that's just not right. So it has wax in it and things that you wouldn't want. The appropriate things to clean your instrument with would be something like a guitar polish. Basically this has some oils in it, but there's no wax buildup. It has a little water in it, which seems counterintuitive, but you really want to use something like Martin guitar polish is probably the best one on the market. Martin's been around for 130 years now. I think they know what they're doing. And with that, you get a nice rag. You can also get these at your local music store, and they're really soft, so you won't scratch anything. You really don't want to use anything but this, or maybe a t-shirt. The other thing that you want to do is the fretboard of your instrument can also get really dry, and this is actually one of the biggest problems that people see, and they really don't realize that they could have helped this by getting basically something called guitar fretboard conditioner. It is a lemon oil or an almond oil usually, and what it does is replenishes the oils back in the wood and keeps this from cracking and keeps everything good. You don't want to put it on any of the body. You can put it on the bridge here, and that helps, but pretty much want to keep it on these unfinished parts. The other thing that you kind of need to know, and a lot of people don't realize, is an instrument gets better by playing it. Why have one if you're not going to play it? But some people they collect hundreds of things, but they never play them. And there's a theory called the million strum theory. You can look it up online. A guy named Brett did it. And basically, when he makes his instruments, he has a machine that strums his guitars 1,000,000 times, and it has proven to be a very good thing for them. So when you get a new instrument, if it's brand new like this one, they're going to sound a little dead and kind of quiet. This one's a little loud, but they kind of don't sound as good as they could. This one kind of sounds boxy and weird. But if I keep playing it every day like I do, it will start to sound better, it will open up, and all the vibrations will definitely help make it sound better. And as an example, I have my favorite instrument, which I've had for 3 years now, and I play constantly, and I play all the time, and it's a little bit bigger, but it's much better sounding, and just has a tone to it, and the strings have adjusted, and it's just so much better, because it's just helped, and it's actually adjusted over time. This thing kind of sounded quiet when I first got it, and I was kind of scared, but I just played it, and I just kept plugging away on it, and now it's a lot better. So really the key is protect your ukulele with a case, humidify, humidify, humidify. You do not want your instrument to crack, and it does happen, and other things can pop off, and you don't want that. Expensive to fix. And also make sure that you play it. Just play it. It doesn't have to be every day, but just play it, and play it a lot, and let other people play it. Don't leave it on a shelf. Don't leave it in a closet. You will never, ever be able to get the sound up without playing it. So, there you go. Enjoy your new ukulele, and hopefully this helps.